Time to go prehistoric now as we look at the animated series Denver the Last Dinosaur. A show that follows a dinosaur that hatches in modern times and befriends a bunch of teenagers. It aired from 1998 to 1990 and only had 50 episodes total. So let's take a look at the first 2 episodes. So first up we have the blast from the past. So we meet the gang of teenagers as they are skating around towards the History Museum as Jeremy is studying for his test. They look around the museum as they make jokes about their teacher being so old. They then head out on the road as they then meet a girl as they tease each other about the girl. They say the girl can't play as she heads off. So some big shot is trying to buy the dinosaurs as the owner tells him to get lost. He boasts he is the greatest guy ever as the gang look at the tar pits outside the museum. Jeremy explains everything as some bullies come up to the gang. They then get into a fight as Jeremy tries to put a stop to it, but they throw his notepad over the gates. The gang dash off as the bullies chase them. They head into some place as Mario thinks he can jump over a hole. He fails and falls into the hole as they then spot a giant egg. Jeremy is confused as it then hatches. Denver then appears as the gang try to make friends with him. So the big shot then spots what is going on as Jeremy starts to figure out how he ended up here. They think of things what to do with him as Wally says they should keep him quiet as the big shot wants the dino. So they come up with his name as he likes the name Denver. They suggest keeping Denver at Wally's place as the big shot boasts about getting the dinosaur. So we see a parade as the gang use that to move Denver to Wally's house. So they manage to get to Wally's house as they suggest putting him in the shed as no one goes in there. Denver then pulls out part of his shell as the gang put their hands on it. It starts to glow as we then get a flashback of olden times. We see a number of different dinosaurs. So the gang are playing in the pool as a girl arrives at the house. They hit the ball into the house as Denver chases after it. He then scares the girl. The gang try to calm down Wally's sister as they explain he is a real dinosaur. The sister threatens to tell their parents as Wally says no one needs to know. The sister says he can't stay here as she then suggests the old gym. They take a picture as they give it to Denver. They then come up with a disguise to move Denver to the gym. They are walking down the street as the neighbor comes and questions the gang. The gang explain Denver is an exchange student as the neighbor is stunned. They head down the road as they arrive at the gym. They look at the window saying they need a ladder, so they need to go to the garage, but they are unsure if Casey is going to help, unless Mario asks her. He refuses to help. He then changes his mind as they get the ladder. They then show Denver off to Casey as Casey heads in and opens up the gym. Everyone rushes in as they make a home for Denver. They have to leave him as he gets sad. The big shot is calling someone to do a job. So in school the teacher is explaining the exam as Denver then turns up at school. The teacher is teaching as Wally then spots Denver outside as he fails to answer a question, so he gets told off. Class is over as the teacher tells him off. So the gang catch up with Denver as Wally explains he got in trouble. So they come up with a plan to hide Denver once more. So the big shot has his henchmen as they ask a stupid question. So the gang hide Denver behind the bleachers as the big shot talks to the bullies from earlier as he gets them to join his team. The bullies return to the gang as they take the skateboard. They chase after the bullies as Denver is left alone. The henchmen then capture him as the gang are walking back to the bleachers as they can't find him. They see him being kidnapped as they chase after the van. They give up as back at home they are playing table tennis as they talk about why anyone would want to kidnap him. The sister comes in with a poster as Denver is gonna be a rock and roll star. The gang go to get Denver back as at the concert the gang sneak in through the back. The concert starts as Denver is scared at first but then gets into the groove of things. The gang come out the volcano as they try to get Denver. The big shot then spots the kids as he controls the volcano. They shoot out as Denver completes the concert. The gang gets kidnapped by the big shot as they call for the police. He says he is going to Japan with Denver as in his office wonders how he is going to make money from Denver. The kids are trying to get out as Casey then comes and saves them. They head to the docks as they think Denver has already gone. They head home as we then see the van with Denver in go past. The big shot locks Denver up in a cage as some professor comes in and inspects Denver. The big shot tries to sell him as the professor does some tests on him. The professor says he is going to show him off as he is crazier than the big shot. Some girl comes in as she shows off her toy to Denver. Her granddad follows the girl into the room as the girl is in the cage with Denver. The granddad is shocked as the professor arrives to say to keep away from him. The granddad says you can't keep him in there as the professor says his friends are coming to experiment on Denver. The granddad then tries to get Denver out as the girl doesn't want Denver to leave. So the professor is in his office giving a monologue on finding Denver as his friends arrive. He opens the door as Denver has disappeared as everyone laughs. So back at the big shot's office, the professor calls in to complain as he says he will keep an eye out if he sees him. So Denver tries to get home as he walks and walks for miles. He arrives back at Wally's place as his sister finds Denver. Some boy arrives as the sister tries to keep him away from Denver. She hides Denver as she lets the boyfriend in. He sees something he is confused about as the sister tries to keep him distracted. She takes him outside as she tells Denver to head to the park. At the park, the gang are playing basketball as Denver overhears them saying they don't want a stupid dinosaur anyway. The gang head off as they bump into the bullies again. Denver is walking away as he then hears the noise from the bullies as he goes to save the day. The bullies leave as the gang are happy Denver is back, but he is then captured again by the big shot as the gang can't believe it. He says he is selling him to Australia as the henchmen put him in the box. Casey takes his phone as she throws it into the box. Chaos happens as they save Denver as they put the big shot in the box. The shipping guy takes the bad guys away as they watch the ship load the box. They take a picture of everyone together as the episode ends. Next up we have in the chips. So Wally is bringing out his food as he is taking it to Denver. Denver is hungry as they give him a salad. Denver hates it as Jeremy says it is what the book says as Casey arrives to explain she fixed the bike. They try to get Denver to eat as Rocky is hungry as well. Shades eats the salad as Casey then bursts in as she says she has something to show them as the gang say no. The gang pick on Casey as she is a young girl. She storms off as Jeremy says he needs to go do his job. He explains there is a ton of chips everywhere as Denver likes that. Casey says she will find her own dinosaur as the gang go out skating as Jeremy heads to work. Denver follows Jeremy as Casey returns to the egg site as she looks for another dinosaur. They don't find anything as she puts on her music. She falls asleep as she is transported back in time. She is scared as at the supermarket Jeremy checks in as the manager gives out his jobs. He meets a new colleagues as Jeremy gets to work. Denver sneaks into the store through the back as he spots all the chips. He dives into them as he eats them. Meanwhile, Casey and Rocky see some dinosaurs as she sees one of them sad. They make friends as Denver has eaten all the chips. Jeremy can't believe it as Denver can't move, so he calls the guys for help. So Casey is relaxing as all of a sudden the other dinos come to see their sister as Casey tells them off. But behind them is a giant T-Rex. Casey runs off as the T-Rex stomps around. The baby dinos follow suit as they try to escape. They head into a cave as the T-Rex can't get them. So at the supermarket the gang try to understand why Denver ate so much. Jeremy arrives with some medicine as they give it to him. The gang watch on as his stomach goes at it. All of a sudden he feels better as the boss arrives. Everyone hides as the boss comes in to say he has done a great job. He says he can have the rest of the day off as the gang head out the back of the supermarket. The gang say they found Jeremy's bike fixed as Jeremy says he has to thank Casey. They say they can't find Casey as they think she has run away. Denver says something is wrong as Casey is still trapped in the cave. She tries to stop the T-Rex as the Dino puts on the music to scare him off. They celebrate as the Dino's mother arrives to collect the children. They say goodbye as Casey and Rocky try to figure out how to get home. So the gang are going around town as they are trying to find Casey. Casey puts her boombox in some mud as it starts to sink. She falls in as they get teleported back as Denver picks her up. She sees Mario and kisses him. She explains what happened as no one believes her as they say it must have been a dream. They say sorry to Casey for treating her poorly and say thanks for fixing the bike. Casey says the boombox is still in the past as they all head home. The egg glows as the episode ends. There was a CGI reboot in 2018 called Denver and Cliff, but that seems to be more aimed at younger children than the original, so was quickly forgotten about. Overall, Denver the Last Dinosaur was a great show, and you can tell it was something of the late 80s, early 90s. A rocker dinosaur and his friends was a great concept, and it was very good and funny at points. Overall, I would recommend it. So thank you for watching. If you have any TV shows you like to see me do, put them in the comments.